Hi there, welcome back. This is Nick again, and I want to share with you some information about the pricing of gemstones. Why are gemstones very expensive, and why are certain gemstones more highly priced than others? For example, why is a sapphire more expensive than a tanzanite, and why is a tanzanite more expensive than an amethyst, and so forth and so on. But before we jump into all that, I need you to understand one thing. One very important fact: there is no such thing as a cheap gemstone. All gemstones are expensive in their own rights. The only difference is that certain gemstones are more expensive than other gemstones. For example, you cannot compare the price of a sapphire to the price of tanzanite. But doesn't mean you're going to find a tanzanite for $1. Doesn't mean you're going to find an amethyst for $1. That just doesn't exist. So that's pretty much it. When I say less expensive, I don't mean cheap. Yeah? Okay. Let's jump right into the explanation of the pricing now. First thing you should know about the pricing of gemstones is that gemstones are priced depending on their grade. And we have three different grades of gemstones. These are precious gemstones, semi-precious gemstones, and industrial grade gemstones. Now we're going to be talking about semi-precious and precious gemstones because these are the only ones we use in the making of jewelry. How do we determine that a gemstone is precious or semi-precious? And how do we determine that this gemstone is more expensive than that gemstone? This all boils down to six different factors. These factors are rarity, durability, and the four C's. The four C's are cut, color, carat weight, and clarity of a gemstone. Now, some gemstones are more rare than others, and the mining process is also a nightmare. An example of these gemstones are diamonds, sapphires, rubies. Very beautiful gemstones, but very, very hard to find. This is why these are some of the most highly priced gemstones in the world. And compared to gemstones like amethyst or citrine, very beautiful gemstones. They have good hardness, good durability, but they are considered to be semi-precious gemstones. They're very, very low in price compared to gemstones like sapphire, compared to gemstones like diamonds, compared to gemstones like tanzanites. This is because they are easily found and they're found in abundance compared to precious gemstones. So that is pretty much it about rarity. Durability is basically how hard or how soft a gemstone is. Harder gemstones have better durability compared to softer stones, and we test the hardness of a gemstone using the Mohs hardness scale, which has a rank of 1 to 10, 1 being the softest and 10 being the hardest. Now diamonds rank at 10, so diamonds are the hardest gemstones in the world, which is why they are also very highly priced. We also have sapphire coming in at number 9 on the Mohs hardness scale. Very hard gemstones, very beautiful gemstones, also very rare, making them very expensive as well. Same goes for ruby, same goes for emeralds as well. Very hard. They do have terrible clarity, but they are very hard gemstones to find. They are also very durable, so this gives them the distinction of a precious gemstone. So that's pretty much it about durability. Now we're going to explain about the four C's. The four C's, like I said before, these are cut, color, carat weight, and clarity of a gemstone. Now these are very, very important when it comes to the pricing of a gemstone. We're going to start with color. Color is one of the most important factor when it comes to the pricing of a colored gemstone. Now the formula here is just the more vivid the color is, the higher the price of the gemstone. So if a color of a gemstone is faded, then the price will also be a little bit lower compared to a gemstone that has higher color. Let's go with the example of tanzanite. Tanzanite with very good color grade are very highly priced compared to tanzanite with lower color grade. As you can see here, we have a tanzanite that is very, very highly colored, very beautiful color, and it even looks more beautiful compared to the one that you're looking at right now that doesn't have as much color as the one you just saw. So the first tanzanite will be more expensive than the second tanzanite, and that's pretty much it about color. Clarity of a gemstone. Clarity of a gemstone basically means the absence of inclusions in that gemstone. We talked a little bit about inclusions on my last video, and I told you that inclusions are the presence of impurities in a gemstone. Now when we say clarity, we mean that this gemstone is clear. This gemstone is eye clean. We use eye clean in gemology because sometimes a gemstone can look very clear, but when you look at it under a microscope, you might find a few impurities. But When a gemstone is eye clean, it is more expensive than a gemstone that has a lot of visible inclusions, especially when the inclusions are located on the table. So yeah, this also affects the price of a gemstone significantly. Of course, unless you're talking about an emerald, because emerald have very terrible clarity, but they're still very expensive because that's just the way they are. People just accept them the way they are. So yeah, that's pretty much it about clarity. Carat weight. Here we're talking about how heavy or how light a gemstone is. Let's use the example of tanzanite. Tanzanite with 1 carat, a tanzanite with 1 carat is less expensive than a tanzanite with 2 carats, and a tanzanite with 2 carats is less expensive than a tanzanite with 3 carats. So the higher the carat of the gemstone, the higher the price of that gemstone. And that's pretty much the formula to it. There is no complication to it. And now that we've done color, clarity, and carat weight, we will go to cut. Cut is also another very important factor when it comes to the determining of price of a price of a gemstone. Well, this is because the cut of a gemstone affects the way the gemstone looks, affects the beauty and the reflection of light in a gemstone. Now, the reason we cut a gemstone is to add its value and its fire, to bring out its brilliance. Now, if a gemstone is not very well cut, if it doesn't have good proportion, then that gemstone doesn't have good brilliance, doesn't have the beauty we were looking for, which means this gemstone will be lower in price compared to a gemstone cut with good proportion. For example, a gemstone that has a very deep pavilion creates dark areas inside the gemstone, which makes it hard for light to be reflected from the pavilion and back to the table. This is called an extinction. And gemstones that have very shallow pavilion, they have something called a window. This means that light goes through the gemstone and passes all the way from the table to the pavilion and out. It doesn't reflect light back to the table, which means the gemstone doesn't have very good brilliance, also affecting the price. And that is pretty much it about the cut of a gemstone. And these are the factors that affect the prices of gemstones through and through. So whenever you're buying a gemstone next time, these are the things you're looking at. These are the things you're looking for. You're buying a tanzanite ring, you're buying a sapphire ring. These factors apply in every single gemstone in the world. So yeah, I hope you learned something, and yeah, stay tuned for more.